Welcome back to the InherAlchemist TV. In today's video, we are going to be doing a tarot reading on Mr. Carlos King, who, from what I understand or what I gather, is the producer of the show Love and Marriage Huntsville. Now, I actually got an instinct or inclination to do a reading on him like a week and a half ago. I don't know why. I really honestly don't know why. What was the draw? And I kind of put it on my mind, and did some other readings. Of course, Love and Marriage Huntsville readings, but also other readings. I don't want to box myself in. And then somebody happened to mention it again, and I'm like, okay, let's look at Carlos. Let's see what's really going on with him. So that's what we're going to be doing on today's video. Please. Oh, and I know you guys are going to be interested in this. This is going to be fun. I had saw something in my timeline about Melody saying that I guess Martell had never made her have an orgasm or the sex was whack. So I think maybe tomorrow, is it Friday? I try not to do it on the weekends, but I don't know, maybe on Friday night we're going to do we're going to look into their sex life. I have a sex therapy deck that I work with, and we're going to look into what was going on in that sexual relationship because listen, I don't know. I just got a little feeling. I'm like, okay. So we're going to see what each of them wanted, what they were doing, what their blockages were, what they weren't communicating. And we're going to find out, was he pleasing her or not, or vice versa, right? So look forward to that. As usual, we know the drill. Like the video. Go ahead and push that like button right now. And subscribe to the channel. Make sure you have your notification bells on because I don't want you to miss anything that I put out. All of our readings are exciting, educational, insightful, entertaining at times. So yeah, I don't want you to miss out. So make sure that you are ready to roll. Let's get started on Mr. Carlos King. So Carlos actually came in as the Empress, which is quite interesting. The Empress and the Four of Cups. Now, initially, my instincts, when you look at the Empress card, the first thing you think of is a mother figure. But for some reason, I wasn't really getting mother because of the cards around it. I got mother like a little bit later on in the spread. And I'll tell you what connection I kind of made with that when I get there. But I knew that it had kind of like a different connotation, right? With the Four of Cups and the Empress, the Four of Cups is about having self-doubt, right? Now, when you look at the Four of Cups as a card, it can signal depression, disappointment, not wanting to be bothered, apathy, disinterest, cloudy vision, all kind of things, right? But when you look at that self-doubt, or you look at that Four of Cups next to an Empress, you immediately get like a sense of insecurity, right? Because that Empress to me is showing the need to be taken care of, the need to be nurtured, the need to be propped up or built in some type of way. And then I look at these executives and I look at how a lot of them have women kind of like running the show for them, or women helping them build their empires using their labor. Now, in ideal relationships between men and women, it's a mutual exchange. You know what I mean? As long as you're getting your equity, there's no problem there. But this thing he has with working on reality TV or working with women, it's really not just about his interest in women. It's about his need to be around feminine energy in order to nurture and build him up, because he has a lot of self-esteem issues and he has a lot of self-doubt about his abilities and things like that, right? So when I saw the Empress and the Four of Cups, I recognized that this was more so his desire, his need to be nurtured by this kind of female conglomerate, or these female figures that are surrounding him, strong women that are surrounding him in order to build him up and I guess somewhat protect him. Now, the reason why I say the word protect, and that is a strong word, especially when we're referring to the feminine, but I show in the recent past, not in the recent past, I'm not even at that part yet, but looming in his subconscious, or looming in the background, or looming in his history, He had a lot of moments of weaknesses, a lot of weakness. I don't know if he was like bullied. I do show way later in the spread where he's being taken advantage of. I think that's by another man. But there's a theme throughout the reading of him being taken advantage of or even bullied in some type of way. But he has like an internal weakness about him. He doesn't believe in himself as much as he may put on. I don't know what his personality is, but if he seems overly confident, that's not true. He actually has like a lot of false starts. He has a lot of, like I said, self-doubt, a lot of low self-esteem, and a lot of weakness. Now, it is possible with this strength card that he was bullied. You know what I mean? Which put him in a reverse strength card, which is him not being able to kind of catch his bearings. And I could see why he would want to draw upon the feminine energy for that. But could it be that the feminine energy or mother figure with this Empress card weakened him in the first place? Or affected his self-esteem in some type of negative way in the first place? Right? Now, also show that Carlos is very impatient. Now, impatience doesn't necessarily equal impulsiveness. I'm not showing a lot of impulsivity, but I'm showing a desire to have situations to change and grow faster than he's willing to plan for or actually put in that work for. Right? Now, I'm also showing that he has a lot of people that kind of like, I don't want to say they use him, but what they do is they pretend to like him when they don't. You know what I mean? And I feel like he had that maybe like a lot growing up. I feel like it even came from a caregiver or a mother figure where people pretended to be okay with him, but then they would gossip about him behind his back. Or they would tell him up front that they love him, but then they would make snide remarks or embarrass him or shame him in front of other people. And I show that in these moments, he was kind of helpless to speak up for himself. And he felt very sacrificial as far as like I felt like he was willing to martyr himself for these people. He was willing to kind of like assume the role of weakness or assume the role of indecision because it was easier than to have that fight. You know what I mean? Or easier than to stand up for himself because he was surrounded by very powerful figures at one point. I show even maybe in his childhood he could have even had, I don't know, they call it like suicidal ideation, but he had times where he did not want to be here. It was that bad. But I think it was a cognitive dissonance that made it bad. And I think it gave him like a weak resolve or frailty or understanding about who he was. It was like he was getting contradicting messages. You know, on one hand, he got an approving look with some disapproving words, or he got some disapproving words. It's almost like a situation where somebody is shaking their head no while they're saying yes to you. And so these mixed signals, I think, attributed to his lack of confidence and self-doubt about whatever his endeavors was going to be at some point. Now, like I said, in the recent past, he has had times where things have not been planned. And it's obstacles that he was not looking for. And he persisted, even though the situation was kind of like out of balance a little bit. I'm also showing a little bit of drunkenness. So I don't know if he was like having drunk nights, or he used to be a person who used to party and go out and get drunk and get in trouble with other people. But mostly I'm seeing him as maybe drinking to kind of mask some type of pain, or I don't know, he tries to deny his emotions a lot. So whatever feelings, or I don't want to say it's repressed per se, he acts like they don't exist. He acts like that's not where he's at with it. And again, I think that could be because he doesn't understand the emotions, because I don't know if he was gaslit. Maybe it was gaslighting. You know what I mean? I went through that growing up. You know when people try to tell you what you're looking at ain't what you're looking at, and then you grow up kind of not trusting your intuition because people look you in your face and tell you what you see is not what you see. You know what I mean? And it kills you. It kills your self-esteem. It kills your confidence. It's heinous. It's wrong. But people do it. You know what I mean? So I don't think his was that exact experience, but he received mixed messaging in his environment that gave him a lot of self-doubt. You know what I mean? But I don't feel like he wants to honor or acknowledge these type of emotions. I think that he just wants to forge forward, even though he kind of somewhat has had things fall apart due to lack of planning. But he's the type of person that doesn't plan because he doesn't necessarily believe in himself. And a plan would mean that you believed in yourself, whereas he's just kind of taking it moment by moment and soaking up the success and thinking of it more as luck as opposed to like an intention. You know what I mean? But he's also very hard on himself. There's nobody that can judge Carlos King because he's already judging himself. Again, because I don't think his environment was very reinforcing for his personality. You know what I mean? And this Empress is just staring me in the face. I don't know what kind of mother he had, or a mother figure that he had, but I'm seeing somebody very bougie. I don't know. I'm seeing somebody in like white, a cream suit, like a cream church hat. Somebody very charismatic, somebody that everybody loved, but maybe was a different way behind closed doors. Maybe somebody even very critical of him. Somebody that presented one way in public and something different at another time. Again, that could have also contributed to that self-doubt. Now, this is also a person who may have made it like he was the beacon of their eye in front of people and may have bragged on him as like a prodigy or a star. But behind closed doors, he didn't get that same sense. And they may have even gossiped about him. You know, like it looks like he may have had the type of female figures around him that used to talk about him on the phone to their friends. You know what I mean? I think it gave him a lot of, I don't know, complexes. Now, I feel like Carlos right now has, I don't know, he has hope in the future. I feel like things are kind of starting to look up for him. I do. I feel like things are looking up for him because he's had, I don't know, but it's hard to say if he's reached this energy yet because he has had some losses or some things that just didn't work out or some plans that fell through. I don't know what his history was, but something that he had going on didn't give no results. But it was just a lack of planning. You know what I mean? But now I find that he's I don't know, he's getting that glimmer of hope back. But again, I feel like it's because he's created this kind of female nurturing system that's helping to not only build him as a brand per se, as a star, but also to emotionally support him. I don't know, even if he seems like he's the one doing the emotional support, it's actually the other way around. And I stress this just to show women that, you know, we have our own motivations. Like I said, we want to be stars, we want financial success, we have different dreams, but you also have to know the value that you bring, and you can only know that when you understand that people need you. You know what I mean? This is a situation where people need to know that he needs them, not just to perform for him, not just to Bojango, but to actually reinforce him as a person. He's nothing without you. He's nothing without these women. Now, that's not a negative thing, and that's not saying that he needs to be exploited or ostracized. It's just saying that know your worth. Know your worth. And when you know what he's dealing with and what his internal disposition is as a man, independent of contracts and all of that, then you can better negotiate, because people wear these false masks and they play off your own pretension and your own desire to be a wannabe. You know what I mean? There's a lot of pretension in this spread, but I think that, I don't know, I think that vibe, I think his mother was very pretentious, very bougie, or I don't know, or something like that. Or she could have even been you know, she could have even been not there. When I look at this Empress and it's Four of Cups, this is coming in as a situation. Now I could look at it as him, or I can look at it as his situation. You know, he could have had someone that was just purely emotionally unavailable to him. You know what I mean? And again, did not foster a great sense of self. Right? Now, I showed earlier there was some type of loss happening. Or there was something that he was trying for that didn't work out. I want to look a little bit deeper into that. But there's also him having like these epiphanies that what he thought was one way actually wasn't another way. It was like he believed in something or somebody and it turned out not to be the way he thought it would be or something like that. And I find that is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of showing up with his star card, which is the card of hope, but it's hope after loss. You know what I mean? So I feel like he is coming to some type of realization about something or somebody in his life. It's almost like he's learning himself. I feel like he's learning himself, and I feel like he's having like changes about the way that he's viewing things or has been viewing things in his life that made him grow up the way he was or feel the way he has felt. I think he's starting to like see, like put pieces together or something like that. I feel like there's alcohol or drug use for sure. This is the second time I've seen that theme in this spread. So I don't know if he does that to cope or if he does that as his partying style. I know there's somebody taking advantage of him. It's looking like a love relationship, or just, or it could even be a father, but I'm looking at it as like a relationship thing. I show that he's having like a little bit of stress and confusion. Again, though, I also show something with this woman. There's a woman around him that is very pretentious. I don't know if she's using him or if she's like, I don't know, she's like wanting, I don't know, she's like narcissistic. That's all I can say. Like, she's like narcissistic. She's like, I don't know, like, you know how somebody like brags on, I don't know, it's weird. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. There's definitely something sneaky. Something's gonna come out. There's some things that he does in the closet, and I'm not even making any puns on that because we know about people being in the closet. But there's something that's coming out about him. Now it could be alcohol and drug use. I technically just brought that out, but there's some. He's moving in silence with some woman. Okay, I'm gonna put it that way. Him and a woman have some sneaky, slick shit going on. But what they have going on is about kind of like, I don't want to say, I don't know. It's kind of like social climbing, or like trying to get to the top, or trying to like stage like a takeover, or set the bar. They want to set the bar high. But there's like a plan for this. This is not like a spontaneous thing. This is like a partnership with a woman who is kind of like a villain though. And I feel like almost like he's partnering with this woman or hiding behind this woman because she is the villain. And he feels protected by that, but he's with her in it. They're in on it together. I'm almost getting like the Grinch. Like, I don't know, he's giving me like he's the Grinch or something. His little character in this reading is coming up as a Grinch, but he's moving. He's too weak to stand alone, and I feel like he's moving behind women. You know how like you pick a fight with somebody and then you have somebody go and take up for you and they stand face to face with the bully and you kind of hide behind them, but you swing from around their shoulders as if you ready to fight now that somebody else is really finna fight for you, but you still trying to get your licks in while simultaneously hiding the fact that you may have even started this or something like that. That's what I feel. There's a woman in particular. Let me see if I can figure out who this is. There's a woman in particular that he's moving funny with. I think, you know what? If I ain't gonna be perfectly honest, I would say it's like a hostile takeover finna happen. It's like a hostile takeover. The Page of Wands. Okay, so maybe a younger woman. A younger woman. She's not a blogger. She's not a reporter. She might be a little gossiper though, because she seems to be a businesswoman who kind of keeps him in the know or keeps him in the loop. He has somebody that he's working with that's bringing him like the tea, and then they're kind of like strategizing and plotting like what to do thereafter. They're social climbing or they're business climbing. This is a person with a head for business. Definitely. This is a person with some education too. So this is a smart person. This is a well-educated person. So this is not no riffraff. Could be younger than him, but it doesn't matter though. This person is an educated person though, for sure. Now, like I said, there was somebody later on, or actually I don't even say later because we're at that part right now, but there's somebody that was taking advantage of him. And I clarified that and I'm like, well, who's taking advantage? And it came up as the King of Pentacles in reverse. Now, for the deck I'm using, the King of Pentacles in reverse is somebody that's very sneaky, but this is Carlos's position. So he's the person that's very sneaky. He's very sneaky. Carlos is very sneaky, right? But at the same time, he's being taken advantage of. But by who? There's something premeditated. There's something going on. Let me see if I can find out who's taking advantage of him, because he's the one that's showing up as having like this kind of like selfishness. You know, I show that he's materialistic. And I feel like he's almost like stuck on his desire to succeed. Like it kind of like rules the nation. It rules his mind to the point where, I don't know, maybe even sometimes he doesn't sleep. But again, I feel like this all his desire for success. The reason why it doesn't go so smooth is because I think it's motivated by his lack of self-esteem, lack of self-esteem. That's the right way to say it, right? His low self-esteem, his indecision, his inherent weakness. He is a weak man. I don't know if that's a physicality thing or if he grew up sick. I don't know, but I think he has some type of, I think he had like one of them mommy dearest type mamas or something like that. If he didn't have a mommy dearest, he had somebody who just wasn't there at all. And with this drinking and drugs, he could have even had a drug addict for a mother and an absent father. I don't see any father figures. But if not, he's drinking and indulging in some type of drugs. Whether that's pills or cocaine bumps, I'm not sure. But somebody's indulging. Now, I clarified to say who's taking advantage when he's the one that's coming in sneaky. And I got the Knight of Cups in reverse. So this is like a fake person, like that's putting up a facade, smoking mirrors. That was the same personality that his mother or this empress or this female figure had. I don't want to say mother because I want to seem like I'm always blaming mothers. But in the tarot, certain cards represent certain things. Empress is a mother. Your queens is your sisters, your aunties, your wives, your ex-hoes, whoever. But I mean, I don't know. If that's what it's looking like, you know. But you can just be that embodied or bodied as a woman where you are the empress, because you body all queens. You know what I mean? You body your money in your material world, you body your creativity, you body your intellect, and you body your emotions in your sex life. Yeah, you're that bitch. You're the empress. But I don't think he deals with women, so I can't say. And plus there's masculine energy here. It's just not fatherly. It's not emperor type energy. It's emotional masculine energy and weak masculine energy. The Knight of Cups in reverse is also a manipulator. Is this another guy? But is this a guy? Is there a guy that he works with as well? I'm showing he has a female army. I'm looking at the woman king up in this bitch, right? So it's not, there could be a guy that's working in the background with him. But somebody's taking advantage. Okay, somebody's taking advantage. They're fake and they're a manipulator, but he's also sneaky. Maybe they working together. Maybe he's working with somebody else and thinking they're on the same team, but that person is taking advantage of him or pretending to be on the same team as him as they take advantage of him. It could be something like that. But again, I think this is part of him being weak. You know what I mean? Because then we have the Death card in reverse. So, because you know what? This could be a long-term relationship where he's being emotionally manipulated, because the Death upright is about moving forward, change and transformation. When it's in reverse, this is about the desire to stay in a fucked up situation. You know what I mean? He may be in a relationship with somebody that's emotionally manipulating him and financially abusing him. He may very well be in a relationship where there's emotional and financial abuse, for surely. But if he is in that type of relationship, Carlos is sneaky. So he may be in a type of situation, and then I have a feeling when you're dealing with two men, the rules are different than when it's a woman and a man. They gutter, they dog eat dog, because they both move the same. You know what I mean? A woman may, and I have a theory. I have different theories about that. But as women, we may take things on the chin. We may allow a man to believe he's ahead of us and getting over on us because we don't want to die. You know what I mean? They can never handle us playing at their level. But with each other, it's going to be to the death, because they're not out strengthening each other. It's man for man, mano y mano. Whereas a woman, you're automatically at a disadvantage, and you have to calculate how you're going to respond to things. You know what I mean? In every moment, when it comes to dealing with things, you have to calculate. And they don't. They just raw masculine energy and just give it to each other straight and willing to die for that shit. And I think we have things that we're not willing to die for, namely some dick and pussy games. I think he has a lover, and they are doing each other dirty. I'm going to say it that way. They are doing each other dirty. Put it that way. He needs to pay attention to his surroundings. I think he has a big deal in the works, like somebody or a larger network, or there's some brand deal. There's a big deal in the works for him, and there's a contract that needs to be signed, or he's thinking about signing, that he's going to have to pay a lot of attention to. Definitely, because this contract, I don't know if it's some type of NDA. Let me see. Oh, the Four of Pentacles. Because this contract is breached in the outcome of this reading. And I show that it's going to result in I don't know, if he's going to have to bankrupt a LLC or something, or I don't know, something's going to fail though. There's a contract, or there's some type of big deal or acquisition coming up, and you're going to have to pay attention to what you put your name on, because somebody's going to break this contract, for surely. Somebody's going to, or it could be even a cast member on the show. Somebody's going to break the contract. Now, the person breaking the contract is coming in as a King of Swords in reverse. So this is a liar, period. This is a liar. Somebody maybe, or maybe he's lying to somebody to get their name on something. If anybody's dealing with Carlos, Carlos is very sneaky. Carlos plays the game, even though he pretends to be weak or is weak or has some low self-esteem. That may be the reason why he's playing the game. He's taught very well. He has educated people around him that sunned him, and this may be his moment. But instead of him having compassion, he may be turning into the people who did him dirty. If that makes any sense. Like, you know how you have some victims who help others, and then some victims who become like their abuser. He's becoming like the people who have taken advantage of him, namely female figures or mothers. But these are the same female. It's weird because he has abuse at the hand of women, yet he's using women to do the fighting for him. But I guess that's part of him having to submit himself to a victim role when it comes to women for protection, as opposed to abuse. So it's like manipulating to intentionally make yourself seem vulnerable or helpless, right? And mind you, don't think of things so dramatically. Don't make it like you're gonna walk outside and see him acting like a wimp, and don't make it like every conversation that you see play out is all the conversations that are had. There's some type of role that he's playing where he has strategic vulnerability that enables these women to protect him, but he's still afraid of them and has a score to settle with them, like in his subconscious. This may be his way of getting back at women, like, and saying, like, I don't have the courage to outsmart you in your face, but I still got one up on your ass behind your back. But it's gonna all come out. I feel like maybe there's even some women who only need to compare notes and match stories. Because it's like dealing with a nigga who has two girlfriends, and he keeps them apart and keeps them enemies and keep them going at each other's throat so that they can never get together and compare notes. He may have people that he keeps apart for the sake of not comparing notes. You know what I mean? So yeah, somebody's gonna have to watch out for that. Yeah, I don't know. You guys, listen, I went in blind. I don't know much about Carlos King. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, or if you have any evidence to corroborate or anything that correlates with what I'm saying. Now, I know we don't know about his childhood. I know all of that stuff, but just in general. And then, like I said, closing out with that King of Swords energy, that's a liar, because the King of Swords upright is a truth teller, a fair person. In reverse, this is a cruel, a mean person that's very insensitive, and again has a hidden agenda. And again, we saw him being sneaky. What is his hidden agenda? I'm gonna have to do a part 2, y'all, because I feel like I got, like, I don't have half the deck out here, but I do have a good 20 something cards out here, just with clarifying the first 10 and so forth. But so there is a blogger. He got somebody watching somebody. He got a double agent. Oh shit. So he got somebody watching people conversations. The devil. Ooh, Carlos. He has a mole, y'all. We gonna find out who it is. He got a mole in there. Wow. He has a mole getting him the tea. Didn't I say something about tea earlier? Or was that another reading I was doing? I hope I said it. He got a mole giving him the tea. But you know what? He's using this information that's being fed to him from somebody spying, and he's using it to like hold power over. He is hella sneaky. Oh my God, he is so sneaky. He wants power, but he does not want to seem like the person in power. He's covert. He wants power, but he doesn't want to seem like the person in power because he's too weak to hold the motherfucking cross of the person in power. He could never be Jesus. He is too weak to bear the cross of the person in power, but he wants it. So he wants to do this shit and puppeteer in the background. Ooh. Wow. The person who is the mole is a part of a couple, so it's a married person. Wow. It's a married person with a big mouth that's always arguing. Y'all, who is it? And who may have just moved. Or may, I don't know, just live across the water. Yeah, they live at a distance. They don't live in the same city as him. They're married and they got a big mouth and always arguing. Y'all, the man got a mole. He got a mole. Maybe he got a mole working in another camp network or something like that. And they is getting information. He got them in there spying for him and bringing him information that he's using and helping. And this woman is helping him strategize on how to gain power and influence. Y'all, let me know what y'all think in the comments. Oh, I can't believe that came out. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. We might have to do a part 2 because now I'm on this man's top. Let me know what y'all think. All right, okay, I'm out. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'm gonna see y'all on the next one.